We're gonna see a couple of fights I had in Corrupted Dungeons. I'm gonna be breaking them down, and we're gonna look at the fight and see what I could have done better in a couple of instances. Unfortunately, in Albion, it's always the little mistakes or the big ones that get you killed. So hopefully, when we're breaking down the fights, we're gonna learn a couple of things. So yeah, enjoy. Here you will see I'm checking the map. I'm looking where I eventually, or better to say, where the enemy is at. Sometimes you see moving minions or pathways to be cleared when you're entering their dungeon. So I'm looking constantly to see where the enemy is at. Here I see the enemy. I inspect them directly, and I'm looking at their, so to say, their experience in the game. First thing you always want to do is look where is my enemy walking, where is he planning to go. Depending on the class of weapon, they will always try to create the best conditions for their engage, at least if you have an enemy player who knows what they are doing. In this instance, I looked where he wanted to go. I used my flame ball to disrupt his movement, also causing damage with my Q ability. He walks back into the flames. Then we see I go into stealth mode. He doesn't know where I am, to cause some, so to say, some confusion, which I am able to leverage and at the end secure the kill. It's important to note, guys, you always want to look at and inspect the weapon you're fighting, and you kind of want to know what the enemy wants to do or wants to achieve to create best conditions for him to win. There are two ways you can go about this. You can actively disrupt their play and cause confusion, or you can just adapt your class's abilities to best counter, not counter, to best create your own perfect engage and go from there and see how the enemy reacts on it. So you have reactional and proactive fighting styles. My biggest, well, you will see later on, my biggest fault in this game, where I tend to die a lot, is when I underestimate my enemy, or when I just can't seem to get a hold of the fight. Every player, every human being has their routine or their things they do when they fight another player in PvP. It's very effective in Albion to disrupt their cycle, so to say, their fighting cycle, and catch them off guard. That way you can, well, most of the time, win a fight in the first couple of seconds. Because when they're behind already, it's very hard for them to recover from it. Yeah, so now we have some gameplay with bow. Was a long time my main weapon. Here I'm doing the same routine, walking to an open space and looking where the enemy player is. Once I see him, I inspect him and figure out a better plan. I'm inspecting him again. I see that he has death givers. Death givers are a weapon they always want to get close to you. My selected skills are always, when I fight an enemy, the standard skills to create distance and knock them away. In case if I want to select other skills, I can safely do that because I can create the distance. Here I activate my arrow ability, I shoot 3 damage, I jump away with my frost shot, so to slow him. I try with my knocking shot to hit him in his invisibility. Again, he dashes to me, He tries to run, use frost shot, and now it's pretty much easy kill. Always with dead givers, pay attention to their stacks, because when they have max stacks on them, he with his E ability, he can instantly use it again. So I made a lot of mistakes in early days Albion, where I was still a noob, so to say, and I made many mistakes going in when people had max stacks, and then you get melted from like half your HP to fucking 0 in like no time. I wanted to also include some open world PvP. Why? Because I want to show the different dynamics you can have inside Albion and their PvP. Well, multiple PvP or ZVZ is really different. The IP difference here, you can have any IP, so always be careful. One tip I do use, not that it's always perfect, I look at their HP. So if you inspect or you click on their name and they have 4000 plus HP, 9 times out of 10 they're 8.3, 8.4. Like, run, or at least don't engage, because you'll be fucked. Sometimes gatherers have high HP, so it's kind of a guideline, but yeah, not perfect. So always inspect the player you want to fight. Now here we have another corrupted dungeon. I'm invading someone with with two-handed fire staff. Yeah, same thing basically. I look at the map where I'm at. I'm always gonna try to get in a position where I can run if possible. Don't ever wait in a position on a dead end. You will just die, believe me. You will be stressed out as fuck and then you'll die. So get yourself in a better position. Look at the map. If you see minions moving, you can you can see where the enemy is at. So you can make a plan where you want to go and how to set up the engagement. Here I look, I see he probably is left. Yes, he is left. Left top. He is one-handed fire, so to see. Yeah. Big error, not inspecting. That's my biggest flaw. Not inspecting, already thinking I can fuck him up, and then yeah, most of the time I just die because you take unnecessary damage. Here he has cultist rope, he heals up. Once again, error of not inspecting. I didn't know he had cultist rope. I go into my assassin jacket, try to hit him for some kind of burst, but nope. He runs, he evades. I use my run, and gotta say, I don't use my run in the correct way, because now my run is on cooldown. If he has his burst skills up, I can never run. You're basically dead. So one tip to take away: always try to account for their run ability. When have they used it? How many seconds have passed? Train this in Albion. Train the cooldowns. Train. Okay, he used the health potion. Now he has 1 minute and 30 seconds where he can't use his health potion. At the time of filming, the smuggler's cape was not yet a thing. I know now the smuggler cape's in the game. So yeah, now he can. So count. He uses health pot. Cooldown of 1 minute 30 seconds is down to null. So now he can use it again. Be very careful. Now I just run in the sense of I just want to create some better conditions where he fucks up, he makes a mistake, and I can punish him for it. Albion is also a game of patience. If you're not patient, you're gonna make mistakes. Here he is not patient, he runs into the spikes. That's a mistake on his part. I try to fight for what I'm worth, but he has me in a shitty position. Again, he tries to use his sculptor's rope. That's why I have the burning field Q. So when he uses it, he well, I didn't pick it because I didn't inspect him, but in this case the burning field Q is very good because he will not out heal the burning field, believe me. Again, he runs. The kiting in Albion is a very big thing in 1v1. So always be careful not to become greedy, because when you're becoming greedy, the chances of you dying are actually very big. Again, he created distance. I use my Q to interrupt him. Now it's pretty even, and here I become greedy. And I believe that he comes away again. Shite. Here you see how kiting works. They introduce bats, but it's still a very big annoyance when you have a good fight, when somebody can run and eat this fucking cabbage soup or something. Always be careful and mindful of that. I also carry resistance pots in my back to switch out in case you have a bolt caster or one-handed cursed. You can negate some damage from that. It's a lifesaver. If you don't have it, here he switched abilities again. I didn't notice, I didn't watch, and because he switched his ability, it's now very hard for me to play my combo, because he can basically free damage me in a very big range, and here I die. It's close, but here I die because I didn't expect. Another fight, just head in first, go, another fight. I want to show you guys. Yeah, again, I enter a dungeon. I see he's on the left side of the map, the west corner, so to say. Always try to get someone off guard. I think that's a very smart thing to do. But don't be a stupid idiot like me and take a lot of mob damage, because that is very bad. Because if he was close, I would be caught with my pants down and I would be dead. So yeah. Again, trying to, yeah, he's on the left side. Yes, inspecting. Again, one-handed fire with fucking cultist rope. Believe me guys, the weapon you get killed by is a weapon you will always almost get the second time. Now I try to disrupt his healing. I obviously miss it, so he doesn't stand in the middle of it. My bad. Probably because of the stress. And that's also a big thing. Do a lot of PvP. Try to get used to it, so you are not stressed out to the maximum, because that's not really good for making kills in Albion, to be stressed out and shaking like a yakko. Like, here we go again. Try to use my burning field and my E ability, miss them both, get punished for it. Yeah, this is bad guys, you can see. Try to run again, but fail, and now I'm dead. Another fight, once again with bow. I use other abilities against minions, so I switch it out to my go-to build. Why I say go to skills? because these are, in my opinion, the best skills for a bow when you're entering a dungeon or getting invaded, because you can create distance with this build, and it's easier to select the skills you want instead of the other way around. When you have the other skills selected and you can't create distance, then you're basically fucked. So you always want to use a set of skills where you have a lot of mobility and you can select the skills you actually need to win the fight. It's also worth noting this footage is filmed a time ago, like 6 months ago or something. So some skills maybe changed a little bit in effectiveness, but I played bow already in live, and it's not that different, to be honest, but the essence of fighting will stay kind of the same. Here I let know where I'm at, hoping the enemy will make a mistake and try to rush to it. That's another sneaky tactic. It works kind of well in Hunter Corrupted Dungeons, where many new players, Stalker not so much, but still it's a habit I developed, and I always want to try to catch the enemy off guard or let them do stupid things, which makes the fight for me a lot easier. You could call them dirty tactics, but Albion is all about dirty tactics, believe me. Albion is all about winning the fight, winning the engagement, and people tend to not fight on Albion in this game, believe me. I've played it for 4 years or something, and 89% of all players will just win when they can win. That's the beauty and also the toxic side of Albion, and I guess full loot PvP will bring that. Will bring people to that point much quicker than non-full loot PvP. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Always kill this demonic slavers, because they're or slayers, sorry, spelled that, but always kill them first, because they can really fuck up your engagement when you get pulled back and hit for 200-300 by the skill of the mob. You could ideally play also around mobs and traps. This is what I don't do usually. I just want the engagement. What kind of... Oh my god. Orfrost staff, I hate that so much. I kinda hate Frost because of their mobility and very high burst. I try to figure out what are the best skills. I'm gonna try with Deadly Shot to use my range and poke them at range, because they are doing the same. And when you're trying to use skills that are actually much shorter range, you will just F yourself, believe me guys. Frost is very strong in range, so always inspect, look what kind of skills. That's my biggest weakness, not fully inspecting and just trying to assess the situation too quickly, which leads to a lot of deaths for me. Always inspect it. Yeah, using max range skills. My W is so that I can root them in place and hopefully, force him to use his ability cooldowns. No, not ability, sorry. Mobility cooldowns. Here a lot of kiting again. He just gets roasted because, in my point of view, he doesn't use his abilities super well. Like, it's a not meta frost staff anyways. He doesn't use his frost blink ability. Yeah, I kind of don't know what this guy is trying to do. Royal shoes also, like, yeah, I get it, but I don't get it. Yeah, I think I kind of would have gotten away with frost shot to close distance more, but yeah, once you choose to roll with skills and you're winning the fight, it doesn't really make sense to run and reset your skills. Here he makes a mistake, I root him in place, he dies basically because killing the bat and he can't run. Yeah. Loot is not so good, but yeah, that's kind of the RNG of loot of Albion, right? One last fight I wanted to show you guys. In this one, I'm going to go to the middle, place where the end boss is. There's at that place there's no mobs. You can just take it easy, get your bearings, look what kind of skills you want, or look where the enemy is probably at. And I use those bats mostly for clearing distance with mobs or just getting pushed the right way, so to say. You can always use those explosive bats to, when used correctly, increase the distance between you and the enemy player. Here's the enemy. Quarterstaff. All those staves, to be clear, are CC builds, so they will try to root you with his skull to skull. He tries to bait you into attacking him, and that will cause a lot of damage, so always look at your buffs and debuffs. Royal boots. Also, mage cowl, so you can purge your buffs. Always watch out for that. He can also purge my E, so that's pretty fucked up. If I guess he in this situation he purged my E, so I can't attack. Also, he has the disarming ability on his stave, so I can't use auto attacks in that period. You see a lot of CC and a lot of mobility he has. His build is all focused around disrupting my skill cycle and drawing me out, so I die basically of my own doing, my own aggressiveness. So you always need to account for the buffs and debuffs and what skills he used. Downside for me is the stave skills, or the staff skills, to so to say, have almost all really low cooldowns, so it's a pretty intensive weapon to fight. For me, it's really here, and you see I knocked him in the skill of map, which basically F'd him. I'm running, he is running, and I hope I can secure the kill. But you never know. Sometimes they just run, they just fucking run, and the first 2-3 times they run, they can outrun you when they have high mobility build. Again, try to hit him, try to not let him be able to regen his health, because every time he receives damage, he also reset the counter how long it takes for him to regen health. Looked at the kill. Yeah, that's nice, boys. Well, that's it for the corrupted dungeon. I wanted to thank you all for watching. This is my first video ever, so yeah. Sorry for my not so fluent English. I hope you nonetheless enjoyed it. This video was made so the psychology around the fighting in Albion becomes clear. Not so much the this or that, but more the psychology of fighting, the basics of a PvP game, and the basics of how engagements work, and what kind of thought process I have. Yeah, while in the fight. I hope you enjoyed it, and in the future, I will be uploading some more fights in Corrupted Dungeon or in Mist. I don't know yet. But thank you all for watching. Signing off, Timmy. Bye.